This is Alex, and welcome to Barely Braided, where we're taking a deep, deep dive into foster care, adoption, and all things parenting, even the sticky stuff. Hello.
Hola.
Hello.
Good evening.
I'm feeling really good today.
Really? After the meltdowns we had at bedtime tonight?
Yeah, we had bad meltdowns tonight,
Ooh.
but I just feel like, the kids are in bed. They've been sleeping like 13 hours per night.
Yeah, the time change has really kept them asleep. Although Ari has been known to wake up between 3 and 4 almost every night.
Yeah, that's weird because I feel like she's done that for like her whole life. She's had
spells of that, yeah.
Yeah, like she's never been a good sleeper. Also, though, wait, two things. Number one, I want to apologize if you hear our dogs like clip-clopping around because today we're in our living room. Well,
on the main floor.
Our sitting room. We're not where we normally are, and the dogs are down here.
We have laminate floors down here versus carpet where we're normally at.
Yeah, so if you hear weird, like dog chomping noises or phones going off or craziness happening.
Oddly enough, I was scolded prior to this to make sure that I had mine off.
You were, but here's the thing. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so this person, it says potential spam, had to have called twice.
Very well could have been DCS then.
It says potential spam, Memphis, Tennessee. I don't think it's DCS.
DCS does spam.
Well, okay. The other thing about my phone number. So I recently changed phone numbers. I had a South Dakota area code for my entire life since I was
So as we move back there, she decides to get a Nashville number.
Yeah, because I thought that if I lived in South Dakota, people from Nashville at that point eventually will stop calling me, so it would be easier to differentiate spam from not. It doesn't matter. I get spam calls all day, every day. Something is wrong with this phone number. I did so much work to
heads
get
are falling off.
Life is really difficult, but it's a good night. We have a few hours free. We're going to hang out with you guys for a little while. Then we're going to go probably sit in our new inflatable hot tub. Have we talked about that?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Please introduce our friends.
So we had a hot tub in our last house. We loved it so much. We actually moved it over here. And when we moved over here, the guy was like, yeah, it's on its last leg, falling apart, rotting on the inside out, whatever. And it was leaking all over the place. So we got rid of it. Same guy came and picked it up and he refurbished it and probably sold it, whatever. But we've really been missing our connection time where neither of us take our phones in there, and it's just a really good time for the two of us to communicate and act like we love each other and act like we want to talk to each other. So we broke down and bought a Coleman Solu Spa off of Amazon, and it was $399 delivered. It's amazing. It's great. Don't rush. Go out and buy it.
Run. Go buy an inflatable hot tub. And actually, so we bought it from Amazon and they sent us the wrong one.
Yep.
The one thing that I think is a little weird is instead of like stepping up into the hot tub and sitting like in an elevated position, you're literally sitting on the concrete.
Yeah, and I thought it would be harder than that, but there's like an inch and a half like memory foam on the bottom of the thing. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's not uncomfortable at all, but it is weird to feel like you're sitting like on the ground kind of. I don't know. I enjoy it. I think it's a great buy. Definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
Oh, I have another great buy.
Okay.
This is a parenting buy. Oh my goodness. I've been raving about this for like the past several days, whatever. So, and this relates to foster care. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about this because we can update later. And this is kind of not really our story to tell, especially this early on and at this point. But we met Ari's biological little brother for the first time this weekend.
Yeah.
And that went really well. Everything was so great. But we met at this place called Cheekwood, which is a botanical garden.
It's like an old mansion / plantation that they've kind of revitalized or redone, and it's like Alex said, it's botanical gardens, and they had a lot of pumpkin displays and lots of woo girls taking pictures with pumpkins.
Instagram girls,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they decorate it seasonally, which is really cool. So it gets really pretty in the fall. They sell pumpkins there. They do like the apple cider and all kinds of things. And then at Christmas
is really cool.
Is so beautiful. They do like thousands and thousands of lights.
I think I read that it was in the millions.
It very well could be, because it's a big space.
It's acres upon acres.
Yes.
And they have live music. Usually they had a guy in a tent playing guitar and singing, and he was good.
Yeah. So all of that to say, I've wanted an excuse to buy a stroller wagon forever. I've really wanted one. Like ever since I saw like people carrying around the stroller wagons, I just thought they were so cute. But I knew that if I was going to spend money on a stroller wagon, because, okay, we have strollers coming out our wazoo. I have a stroller problem.
True.
So I buy strollers it's terrible. It's a problem. But we were using a Graco Uno to Duo, which if you're not familiar with that, it's like a Graco. It can fit a carrier style car seat. It can fit a toddler car seat or a toddler seat. It can convert into a bassinet. There's like all these different modes. And
one kid can stand, one kid can sit.
Or they could face either direction. They could face you. They could face the other way. And I thought it was going to be really cool.
So it wasn't?
I think it was hard to steer. It was hard to push.
It was.
So I didn't hate it. We used it for a long time, but I just needed an excuse to buy this stroller wagon.
Yeah, and see, when you said you wanted to buy one, I thought it was going to be the kind of like the big red wagon with sides on it, and then they have like big oversized rubber tires. That's what I envisioned.
Like, are you thinking like a kid's wagon, like not a wagon that kids ride in, but like a wagon that kids pull?
No, like ones that they ride in.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, either way, I did a bunch of research.
Either way, it's nice.
Yeah, I narrowed it down to 2. There were a bunch of different brands and models that were really cool that I just didn't want to spend $700 on. So we kept our budget. I still spent more than I normally would, but I tend to splurge on baby stuff because I know it's so easy to resell, especially if you keep it in decent condition.
Yeah.
So that's how I justify it to myself.
And I want to tell people, don't be too proud to buy stuff like that. I think we've saved quite a bit of money.
Secondhand?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't be too proud to have to go out and buy all the new stuff, or go to Carter's and get brand new stuff. Gosh, we get a lot of stuff at Walmart, Amazon.
Once Upon a Child, which is a secondhand shop around here. I love Once Upon a Child. Okay, so this is another weird thing.
We got that Mamaroo.
Yeah.
The really expensive $300-$400 Mamaroo.
I don't think it's that expensive.
Oh, okay.
But we did get it secondhand and it was perfect.
Yeah. And we used it and sold it again.
Yeah. Yep. So Once Upon a Child, this is so funny. The location that our Once Upon a Child is in what most people would consider to be kind of a dangerous part of town. And that's the one that I go to because it's the closest to our house. It's still like, 30 minutes away, but that's the one I go to. And I've always had good luck there. So a couple months ago, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go way across town to where all the rich people live. And I'm going to go to their Once Upon a Child because I'm going to get even better deals. And I will tell you, I went there and the rich side of town, their Once Upon a Child was awful.
Really?
Yes, it was not
Which side of town was that?
Brentwood, Franklin.
Gotcha.
And it just was not as good. So I like our Once Upon a Child that's much closer. We get stuff there. I buy a lot of the kids' clothes there.
Cool.
Yeah, sometimes it's new with tags. Okay, so back to the wagon. It was between the Jeep brand and the Even Flow Pivot Explore. And we ended up getting the Even Flow because a few reasons. I like the fact that the handle converts so you can either pull it like a wagon or you can push it like a stroller.
And that's key for me.
Yes, because you have like a weird stride and arm length.
I'm 6'5".
Yeah, you have a weird arm length.
Well, if you pull it, it gives you like a 5-foot lead. So I have a size 14, 15 foot too. So Like,
you were constantly like knocking your knees on
Yeah.
furniture and things and your
Well,
toes
no,
and
we
your
don't
elbows.
need to go into that, but-
I'm telling you, like once a week, I hear you cuss and say, ow. And I'm like, what happened? You're like, oh, I just hit my elbow on the staircase or whatever.
thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so we agree though. We both love the even flow wagon, right?
So far, it's been really, really good.
Yeah, it's a win. And I think it's so cute too that it's like a hunter green color. I think it's just a really cute color. I'm really into green right now. I don't know. It's just a thing. My car's green.
I tried to buy a green truck today.
You just want a green truck because I have a green car. You're trying to copy me.
No, I'm just ready for a new vehicle.
Yeah.
I go down that rabbit hole about once every year and a half.
Yeah, you do. I think you're just jealous.
You've been jealous that I've been chatting with babes online all the time. Name that movie.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Ooh.
Act
I
like
drastically underestimated you. I don't think we've even ever watched that together.
No, definitely not together, but I have a copy upstairs that I accidentally never returned to Mr. Movies in Mitchell, South Dakota. I'm really sorry, Mr.
Gosh.
Movies. Yeah.
Oh, no bueno.
So the plan today is, well, okay. First of all, we started podcasting a couple days ago, and every once in a while we'll start and I'll just be like not feeling it and stop halfway through and be like, nah, we have to start over.
Crap.
Yeah, but the last time we just didn't have any plan. And today we have a plan.
We do?
Yeah. Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay.
I
You're
thought
in
we
luck
were
because I'll tell
winging
you.
it again.
You thought we were winging it?
Yeah.
No. We're going to kind of wing it.
Oh.
But our plan is, so I'm a member of a bunch of different like foster parent groups, right? And one of the questions that gets asked all the time is, what do you wish you would have known going into foster care that you know now? And so what I thought we could do is just read some of these responses and see like if we agree or if we disagree or if we can think of other things that weren't mentioned.
10-4.
So what was also interesting is typically when people ask this question, it's usually two-part. And the second part of it is, what do you ask placement when they call with a child? And so we might see a little bit of that too. So this is welcome to what we wish we would have known going into foster care.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So this person says that they wish they would have known that they were going to get their first call the very following day after approval. And some people get it within hours.
Yeah, we wish we would have known that for sure because we didn't even know that we were approved when they called us to take our first little girl. And I had to, when they called me, because Alex didn't answer the phone, I said, well, I don't think we can because we haven't been approved yet. They're like, oh yeah, you got approved yesterday. Can you take it?
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's funny because the next person who posted after this says, we got our first call before we actually knew we were approved.
Yeah.
So sounds like this must be a pretty common thing.
Yep.
All right, that's good. The next person says, this looks like it applies to older kids, at least older than we typically have. Set up basic house rules and tell them as they go that things will change according to how it's going. So basically, be flexible. Set up rules, establish rules on the front end, but be prepared to be flexible as time goes on.
We don't really have any experience with that. So, I mean, we had one young lady that was a teenager that was with us for a weekend, but...
And she was wonderful. Like, yeah she really
we didn't really
need
have to
rules.
we didn't really have to lay down any iron fists.
Not at all. So the same person also says a lot of times basic tasks like making beds and cleaning will have to be taught, as well as personal hygiene. Sometimes it's an issue and sometimes it hasn't yet been learned.
I was going to say that the learning part for me is the kicker there, because with a lack of structure in a lot of the kids' upbringings or homes, that's kind of expected that they're not going to know how to do that.
Yeah, I can't specifically remember, but I feel like I've heard stories of foster parents who took placements and were immediately surprised at the basic things that their foster children just had never learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, which actually kind of reminds me, this isn't really along the same lines, but it made me think of it. When we had a 5-year-old, Joel took a FaceTime photo. It was either a FaceTime photo or FaceTime
I was
call.
FaceTiming my sister.
Yeah. you took a FaceTime call from your sister and you were talking to her outside in the backyard, and I was inside with the girls. One of the girls, a 5-year-old, runs in and says, Alex, 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 Joel is talking to a girl on the phone. He's cheating on you. That's what she said.
How crazy is it that a 5-year-old...
That's her first thought when Joel is talking to a woman on the phone.
That's a thought, period. I can't imagine knowing what that was when I was 5.
Yeah, even knowing what that is, being familiar, not only being familiar, but assuming that's what's happening.
Yeah, like it was commonplace.
Yes.
In the world that she lived in, so much so that that's the first thing that came to her mind.
Yeah, it's
Weird.
scary. The next one says to check for lice. Have you had any dealings with lice in your life?
No, I remember growing up, in elementary and middle school, we had like every quarter, I think it was, the school nurse would come to the PE class, and you'd go in the big where all the equipment is stored, and you'd have height and weight day.
Yes.
And they'd do your height and your weight, and then they would come through your hair for lice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I do remember when we had a swimming module in gym class. It was really weird because I want to say it was in junior high, maybe like 6th or 7th grade. And this has nothing to do with anything we were talking about. But
sometimes we get squirrels.
It was kind of awkward because, you're at that weird phase and you don't like everybody's in their swimsuits and it's just kind of like weird and awkward. And that's when they checked us for scoliosis. And so each kid had to go like one at a time and then like bend over and touch your toes while they checked you for scoliosis, which obviously is very important, but it was also like dreaded. We all dreaded it.
Real quick on that, and I know this is a tangent, but we had in middle school, 6th grade PE was split. 6th and 7th grade PE was split between boys and girls.
What?
Yeah, because it's a funny age, so they split everybody, boy and girl.
That would have been so nice because, like, I do remember, like, when we ran the mile and stuff, like, of course, all the boys were much faster with the exception of, like, one very athletic girl. We're just at very different levels athletically and also, like, just very
awkwardly.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still kind of awkward.
Me too.
But getting better.
I'm regressing.
Did you also have to do that thing in gym class where they had...
Climb the rope?
Yeah, did you do that?
Yeah, in elementary.
Yeah, we did that too. And also where you had a metal grid.
Yep, and you had to like put the peg in and pull yourself up?
No, we didn't put a peg. We just had to hold on to it like monkey bars and then like pull yourself up to the next, with your hands.
Presidential physical fitness was the worst.
What does that mean?
Remember you had to do like the V-sit and the mile run and the...
What's a presidential physical fitness?
It's the president's physical fitness program, and you used to have to
Which president?
All
Because
of
your
them.
president in elementary school was not my president in elementary school.
I mean, we did it all through high school. Granted,
So
when
it
I
was
was
like
in
all
high
of the
school, you were in
presidents-
elementary.
All of the presidents agreed
Yeah.
that this was a thing?
Yeah, we're getting way off topic.
We're definitely off topic. Okay, this post is about what do you wish you would have known if you get an infant. So this says the attachment will grow as does the amount of paperwork. Yeah, that sounds about right. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and because that's really the majority of what we've had is infants that we've grown up with a little bit, so to speak. So, yeah, the attachment thing is real. Our first little girl, we only had her for 6 months, and that was a tough day.
We were absolutely devastated, and we've talked about this, but the 2 hardest days of my life were when she returned to her grandma and when my dad died. Hands down.
Yep, it was bad.
Yep. This next lady says, it's gut-wrenchingly exhausting and I needed more help than I realized. Babies come and go quickly. I barely get cleaned up from one day and another has arrived that same day. This particular group is nationwide. So this is not specific to Tennessee, which is very interesting.
I would, if I had any advice to give that woman, I would tell her to take some time to decompress. Going into it, I think you have to understand that you have to have the ability to say no.
Which we have done, and it's been difficult.
Absolutely. I mean, with Ari's half-brother.
Yeah.
But you have to know your own boundaries. Or not necessarily your boundaries, you have to know your limitations.
Yeah. And yeah, you absolutely do. But it's hard sometimes to accept your own limitations.
Yep, it is for sure. But you have to be true to yourself as much as you are the children.
Well, and if you overextend yourself, it only hurts the children.
Them. Absolutely.
Yes, because if you have to disrupt, that's kind of what is trying to be avoided. Mm-hmm. So if you can avoid that on the front end, it's better for the child if you say no up front. Yep. Also, you mentioned something about like taking care of yourself and decompressing yourself. Have we talked about the fact that we have started to see a therapist?
No. Didn't know we were going to.
Should I have kept that a secret?
I don't know. I'm not really.
It's important to talk about.
Yeah, I'm not too proud to say that we've been to a therapist.
Yeah, but also you got kicked out today, so I think you're fine.
You're broken.
He's like, so, okay. As a couple, I don't think we're struggling. Like, I do think we have a strong marriage. I don't think we're like hanging on by a thread at all. And I just want to put that out there. Like, you don't have to be.
That's good to know.
You don't have to be in that spot to hire a therapist.
Right.
Like, you can be at any spot in your marriage to say, if we're going to spend the rest of our lives together, like, we better have the tools in our tool belt to get along with each other and enjoy each other. And like, if we're not going to do it now, like, why not do it now? Mm-hmm. Why wait until we're in a bad spot?
Why wait until it's bad?
Yeah. So that was kind of my thinking. So we're hiring this therapist and we're like talking to him and he like cusses all the time, which is kind of funny. I don't mind it at all. But then like today, Joel and I were talking.
He doesn't cuss all the time.
He cusses more than you.
I don't know if I would agree with that. But like I told him, I think it makes him human.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I definitely don't mind it. That's for sure. I think it's funny.
It makes him more relatable to me anyway.
Yes, it does. So before we had our session today, Joel and I were talking and we were kind of like, we could probably take a break from this. Like, we've learned some things. Things are going really well. Like, let's just take a little break. So we get on the call and the therapist is kind of going that direction as well. He's kind of like saying like, well, if you guys want to, stop doing, he didn't say
do some individual stuff.
He said, Alex, if you want to do some individual anxiety work, like maybe we could do that. And I'm like, oh.
Which is weird because I'm the guy that was on anxiety pills.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to fight that though.
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to it. I have been way more anxious ever since having kids. So any tools that I can learn to de-stress for myself, I'm all down for. I will give you an update. I'll let you know how it goes. Maybe I'll like expose some past trauma and uncover some demons. I'm like really drinking the Kool-Aid here, aren't I?
But don't be afraid to get help or to ask for help.
Yeah, but also like I don't feel like I'm in a bad place right now. I did feel a little bit like mentally overwhelmed a few weeks ago, and I talked about that, and it just kind of passed.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I'll give an update. Okay, so the next person says one thing they wish they would have known is that you can also have a parental relationship with the biological family. Go ahead and read up on ways to support individuals who are struggling with addiction without enabling them. Wow, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, that's one of our placements. That probably could have been of help to us.
What? Like working with somebody?
Working with a parent, because we've, for the most part, had placements where mom and dad, if there was a dad, were kind of ghosts, right?
Yeah, we have not dealt with dads.
But we did, no, we haven't. Yeah. But we did at the beginning of our first one, but that didn't last very long. But the two little girls that we had dealings with mom. And I wouldn't say they're bad, but we definitely could have had some direction on how to handle that.
Yeah. Well, and it also, I know, can get a little bit sticky. Like if you find yourself in a situation, like maybe you're at a foster care review board or you're at a court date or something.
And you run into them.
Yes. And you run into them without DCS or caseworkers or any staff present at all, because at that point, like, I don't know what to do. So here's one example.
I will say if I can interject real quick, the couple times that I did interact with that mother, I just tried to be real with her and honest.
Yeah, and respectful.
And respectful. I wasn't trying to sugarcoat anything.
Right.
It's it's more about facts, I guess, and letting them know that the only thing you want to do is put their children's best interest first.
Yeah, and I will say you handled that really well, and you were also much better at setting up boundaries with her than I was. So, for example, I know she a lot of times would want to call or want to talk to the kids after they had gone to bed or something like that. Or, like, I think we had a schedule where she talked to them every other night or something. And if it was not that night, like, we did not want to get the kids out of their routine. And, we tried to be flexible. But if she was asking to cross a boundary that we had already set, you were better at holding your ground, which I think it was healthy.
Good cop, bad cop.
Well, I mean, it worked. It worked for us. And then I know there was only one situation where there was a little bit of tension because I think she was questioning the diet we were feeding her daughter. And I don't want to get too much into that, but like we were definitely feeding their children appropriate amounts and very healthy. And I think her daughter, the 5-year-old, told her mom that like we were starving her or something, which obviously was like very untrue, but the mom believed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just kind of interesting. So I was going to say the one situation that I thought was kind of strange, this was when Ari very first came to us. We had a foster care review board, and after it was all done, well, Dad was there and he was very kind and respectful towards me because it was just me and Ari there. Joel, you were at work or something. And after it was over, he asked to walk her out to my car. And I didn't know him at all. So I didn't know if I needed to be nervous. It's a new person I had never met before. I have no idea what he thinks about me. He might think I'm trying to steal his child.
He might try to steal the child on the way out.
Yeah, like we have no clue what's going through his head. And you know what he did? I'm pretty sure I told you this, but it's been a long time. This has been like 2 years since this has happened. He walked her out to the car. He buckled her into the car seat. He gave me a bag with a bunch of clothes, formula, and then he gave me a hug and said, "Thank you for taking such good care of my daughter." Isn't that crazy?
Wild.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing on this list, somebody said that they wish they would have known that they wouldn't stick to one particular age range and their preference of age range would change over time. I hear this a lot. What do you think about that?
I don't know what to think because every child we've had, minus a quick weekend, was 5 years old and below.
Yeah.
So I can't really comment on that, but man, right now I'd kind of wishing for like some 10, 11, 12-year-olds.
You could probably change your mind to an older child.
Yeah.
I think so too. Like if we had the capacity, if our jobs were a little bit less demanding and we were open for another child, I agree with you. I would say at least over 6, possibly, over 8 or 10.
Yep.
Yeah. It is interesting that your preference, I have not met anybody whose preference didn't change at some point. Okay. This person says, have a few preemie outfits on hand and preemie diapers because they are difficult to find. That's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Yep. Luckily, the hospital sent us home both times with very, very little people stuff.
Both of our kids were like 4.5, 5 pounds when we brought them home. Yeah,
Brooks was born at 4 pounds, like 3 ounces, I think.
4 pounds, 0.6 ounces.
Oh.
Yeah, they were both little. Ironically, Ari was a little bit bigger when she was born, but I think she's just going to be a petite little nugget her whole life.
She's got some pipes.
Yeah, a petite little nugget with not petite lung structure.
Yeah. No, when I meant pipes, I meant arms.
Oh.
She's strong.
She's advanced in the pipes in both areas, her lungs and her arms.
Her arms, yeah. She's going to be a strong kid.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, this woman is a single foster mom, which shout out to the single foster moms. I know we have a lot of
they do it.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends and a lot of listeners who are single foster moms and single foster dads. Yes, absolutely.
We do know a few of those.
Thank you for bringing that up. I don't know how y'all do it.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. I wouldn't last one day.
One child. I can't imagine me being single and having even one of these kids all the time by myself.
Well, and it's not even like about parenting them all the time, because I think you could do that.
It's about scheduling and being 9,000 places at once.
Yes, parenting with all of the extra DCS appointments and caseworker visits, and you have to go to 2 medical appointments for every regular medical appointment, and visits, and foster care support, foster care review board, and CFTM, and all of it. I could not.
I think if I was single, I'd probably have burned all of my vacation time just taking care of the child.
Yeah. Oh, here's one that's not on the list, but this is like my interjection is children get sick, buddy. If you aren't used to raising children, like you don't have biological, like if they're in daycare, expect stuffy noses, expect daycare to send them home because they say they have diarrhea when they don't actually really have diarrhea.
Right. That happens to us.
Our kids get sent home all the time.
Yeah, and I had a period of probably 5 years where I was in really good shape, and I'm still in pretty good shape. I have an old man belly, but I still run between 3 and 3.5 miles, 3 to 4 days a week, and I get sick more and more and more, and I don't know if it's because of my age or if it's because we have a petri dish that we go to every morning.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's common for people who have kids in like elementary school or daycare, but I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Before having kids. This next lady says she wished she would have known about swaddling before getting a baby. Is swaddling a universal thing? Is it a thing that everybody does, like, period?
Well, I thought so.
I did too. All my friends swaddle their babies. Yeah. Has it been a thing, like, since we were... Did our parents swaddle us?
I really don't know. I'm 41. I can't remember that far back.
I'm about to call my mom and ask her. All right, let's see what she says. Here we go.
Oh, you're really calling your mom right now?
Yeah.
Here we go, folks. Live and unfiltered.
Gammy Chewy. She probably won't answer. Hi, honey.
They're probably meeting with Gordon.
Oh. I'm going to be really sad if I went through all this work and she's not going to answer. Hi, this is Julie. That's how her voicemail starts.
Hi, you've reached Julie.
Oh.
Sorry I missed your call.
She must have re-recorded it because it sounds different.
Well, that's a bummer. We didn't get to talk to Gammy on the podcast.
Maybe she'll call me back and we'll ask her. And then we'll also ask Vicky if swaddling was a thing when we were little babies.
We try and call Vicky?
Yeah. Let's try and call Vicky, because the first I heard of it was when Vanessa had her daughter Hannah. And I guess I just never really knew it was a thing. But then all my friends did it after that. So yeah, have a good swaddle. We liked the Velcro ones, but there are a ton of options, and we used them till our kids were like over 1 year old.
Saint Vicky.
Don't forget to tell her she's on the podcast. I bet she'll answer.
She's probably at Wine Club tonight.
Oh.
Even though my mom doesn't drink wine.
Hello.
Hi, Mommy. You're on the podcast.
I'm on what podcast?
How many podcasts does your son do?
How many podcasts do I do, Mom?
Well, I don't know. You and Alex do some.
Yeah, you're live on the podcast right now. We just had a quick question.
Oh, great.
So our question was swaddling. Did you swaddle me as a child?
I don't know if it was quite like what they do today, but we used to put the head at one of the corners and pull over the sides and pull up the front.
Wrap them like a little burrito? And
kind of wrap it, yeah.
Huh.
So it was kind of like swaddling.
Yeah.
So did Vicky's parents swaddle her as a baby?
Did Vicky's parents swaddle her as a baby? We're trying to figure out how far this went back.
I couldn't tell you that, honey. I really have no idea.
Interesting.
I don't remember any pictures in particular that, of me as a baby. So I'm not sure. I don't know that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's really all we wanted. Are you at Wine Club tonight?
No. Wine Club is tomorrow night this week.
You're the only person in a wine club that doesn't drink wine.
I'm learning. I'm drinking a little bit.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
All right. We need to get you in a whiskey club.
Does whiskey taste better than wine?
No.
No?
No.
What do you what is it that you can put in Coke and stuff?
Whiskey.
Or Pepsi or
Whiskey.
Yeah.
Whiskey? Well, maybe
Whiskey.
it would mask it enough that I could drink it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I do.
All right. We're going to go back to our regularly scheduled programming now.
But thank you.
But thanks for answering.
You're welcome.
Give Pops a hug.
Okay, well, I do, honey.
Love you.
Bye.
That was funny.
Aw, she's so cute.
Now I feel like we got a regular radio show where
We're taking callers.
caller on line 1 wanting to know about a set of white walls.
What?
Major League, the movie.
Yeah, no, I missed
The guy
that
on
one.
the other line wanting to know about a set of white walls.
Yeah, I missed that one. So Vicky is so sweet, and we learned
Thanks,
that...
Gammy.
Yes,
Grandma.
we learned that she did swaddle you as a baby.
She probably wanted to swat me.
Or strangle.
Yeah. But she swaddled.
All right, so it's kind of like a long-standing thing. I guess I'm sure everybody else knows this, and we're just like behind the curve probably. So is there anything that you personally can think that you wish you would have known going into foster care that you know now?
I think just the time commitment that it takes for the different meetings and court appearances and all that stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I think we were warned that there would be a lack of information transfer, but I didn't expect it to be this bad.
I do feel like we get lied to a bit.
Well, and we really were enlightened when we met Ari's little brother's foster mom and learned some things that the department had told her about us.
That was completely not true.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get into that in more detail at some point, but it was very enlightening to hear what she had to say. And let's just say the minute that we got together and got to have a conversation between the three of us,
we knew that other piece was toxic.
Yeah, we learned a lot. We formed a great relationship. Oh, here's Grandma Julie.
Oh.
All right. It's the Grandma Cast. Hey, Mom.
Hi, I'm sorry I was in my den and printing out some stuff. How are you?
It's okay. I'm good. We're actually live on the podcast right now.
Oh, yeah?
And you're on the podcast as well.
I am.
Like right now. Yeah. So
That's cool.
I just had a really quick question, and we just called Vicky too, and we asked her.
Yes. Okay.
So the question is, do you know, when I was a baby, did you swaddle me with like a tight blanket?
I don't remember that they called it swaddling, and it wasn't that big of a thing at the time. I know I wrapped you in blankets, but I don't think wrapping them, swaddling them that tightly was widely publicized as something that you should do. So I would say I loosely swaddled you.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Did you ever drop me?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I was just wondering.
Did you ever want to drop her?
No, I don't ever remember dropping you.
Joel just said, did you ever want to drop her?
No, you were such an easy baby. I did not ever want to drop you. You know, the only time you ever cried or fussed that I remembered was when you were a baby, was if I was out of your sight. So I think I told you this before, like when you were an infant and I needed to get ready for work, I just put your car seat or your infant seat right outside the bathroom door so you could see me, then you were fine.
Yeah, I remember when I was a little bit older too, when you were putting on makeup. You must have spent a lot of time like getting ready and fixing your hair and putting on makeup.
About the same amount of time as you do when you're
probably. Because I remember taking my Humpty Dumpty blanket and laying on the carpet like outside the bathroom with the door open and just watching you.
Yeah, that was probably when you were too big for an infant seat.
16.
Joel said 16. Okay. Well, my last question is, what were your first thoughts when I told you that we were going to be foster parents? Or do you remember that conversation? Because I don't.
I do kind of remember it. I just thought that
you were crazy.
Hoped you knew what you were getting into. But I also had, knowing you and knowing Joel and knowing how good you were together, that I knew that you were the perfect people to do it.
Aww.
Or if anybody could do it, you would do it.
Thanks,
you could do
Mom. Do you love your little grandbabies?
I love my little grandbabies to death. I just can't wait to be around them all the time.
I know. They're so cute. Okay. Well, those were all the questions I had. Thank you for being a wonderful guest.
You're very welcome anytime.
Okay.
Thanks, Gammy. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
We have the greatest baby grandparents.
That was kind of fun to bring them in.
Yeah, I really think we should do an episode with grandparents. Like you could do an episode with your parents, and then I could do an episode with Julie and Tom. I think that would be really cute.
That would be cool. Yeah. Maybe we'll have to take the equipment to Deadwood over Christmas.
Yeah, it's portable now.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's end it because I'm ready for Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yep.
But if we think of any wish we would have known stuff after we hang up the phone here.
Hang up the phone.
Yeah.
We'll
be back.
We did that a little bit ago.
No, you know what I mean. We'll be back. You can't get rid of us for long. Also, can you do the spiel about leaving a review? Because I have done it too many times and I've stopped being effective.
If you like what we do, please leave a review.
Oh, that's good, Joel. I like that. That's awesome.
Seriously, we have gotten a lot of feedback in the last several weeks alone since our last couple of podcasts, and all very positive. We love hearing that positive stuff. If there's something negative that you want to say,
bring it on, buddy.
Bring it on. Don't attack any person, so to speak, personally, but if
that's fine. We can be attacked.
If you have feedback or want to ask us any questions or want to suggest a topic,
yeah,
let us know.
Yeah, it is nice to know.
Because I think we've done, what we wish we would have known going into foster care.
We've kind of sprinkled it amongst our episodes.
So, if you have a specific topic you want us to cover, let us know, and we can do our homework, and we'll bring it to you.
Oh, I totally forgot the whole reason I wanted to do this episode to begin with. Oh my goodness, I'm so stupid. But I'm so glad I remembered now. All right, this is the important part of the episode. So we have partnered with Anthony over at Foster Families Assistance Network. If you're not familiar with his organization, we've talked about them in the past. He provides resources for foster kids in Davidson County, Nashville area, and foster families. Middle Tennessee. Yeah, he has a great organization. He literally started by running this out of his garage, and he helps so many people. And over the years, he's been growing. And this year, he will be taking on 92 foster kids at Christmas time.
And Anthony is a former foster parent himself.
Yep.
And I want to say he adopted 4.
I'm not sure. I always see him with the 2.
He and his wife either have 3 or 4. It's probably 3.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how many kids he has because every time we see him, we're like out and about working.
Yeah.
And so I know he's brought 2 of the kids to the MCI events, but so this year he has volunteered to help 92 foster kids and provide them with Christmas gifts. And so how he does that is he partners with local organizations, and we each sponsor like families or a certain amount of children. So this year, Barely Braided Podcast is sponsoring 2 foster kids, girls, siblings.
Music City Idiots. We are pretty much.
Music
City Indian Motorcycle here in Nashville is also, we had a meeting on Friday, and we are going to for sure take at least a family too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I forgot to tell you that.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Well, then I'm going to steal my listeners' generosity for the podcast and tell them that there's an Amazon wish list. If you are able to donate and help purchase items for these two girls for Christmas off their Amazon wish list, it's linked in the bio of my Instagram as well as my TikTok. And so those usernames are at Barely Braided Podcast. If you go to the bio, click on the link, it'll take you to an Amazon wish list and it will automatically ship the items to me, and I will be bringing the items to Anthony directly. So we are helping 2 of the 92 children. We have 2 younger girls and their wish lists are on Amazon. That's the whole reason I wanted to do this podcast episode, and I can't believe I forgot it till the very end.
Well, and to piggyback on that, gosh, I sound corporate. To piggyback off that, we also have the event next Friday.
Yes, you talk about that.
So in the past, I think the last 3 years, we have raised money for Foster Families Assistance Network through Music City Indian, through the generosity of our motorcycle customers and our motorcycle family.
And when you say generosity, this is not little generosity. This is people really, really providing for these families.
Yeah. In the past, we've had a couple of donations that topped $1,000.
Yeah, like these people blow it out of the park. When we set a goal, these MCI customers, they come through, buddy. They do.
They do. And this year, well, I should backtrack. Last year, one of our really good customers, a guy named Pat, I'll kind of leave him anonymous. He donated a significant amount of money. He's a single guy, has no children, and just has a really big heart for the foster kids. And only because his mom was an orphan is his reasoning for helping the foster kids. So he went out and bought a $50,000 piece of art, and he's having prints made. You can buy the prints. You can buy the $50,000 piece of art if you'd like to. But this coming Friday, November 5th, at the Nashville Palace here in Nashville in the Opryland area, we'll be putting on a art benefit and bike night to benefit Foster Family Assistance Network. You can look at a lot of cool motorcycles. You can hang out with us, have dinner with us. There's a buffet. You can buy a table. It's just going to be a fun event, and we're really hoping to bring a lot of people in and a lot of people to raise money for the Foster Family Assistance Network.
Yeah, 2 really cool events. Typically, our charity events are during the holiday season, so I feel kind of bad like bombarding people at one time, but these are the 2 big events we do every year. They just happen to coincide. This one that Joel's talking about on November 5th, it's new. This is the first time it's been done.
And this has really nothing to do with us other than the fact that I work at Music City Indian and he's our customer. This is 100% Pat. Frankly, I told him I didn't have the time to help put on the event, and he's really spearheaded this. So Pat's a retired U.S. Army officer, and now he lives locally here, but he also is a potato farmer in Washington State. So he's on his way back from Washington, and hopefully we'll be able to raise some money.
Yeah, I'm so glad we brought this up. This is the whole reason I wanted to do this episode. I can't believe I forgot until the very end. But if you're in the Nashville area, please consider buying a ticket at the Nashville Palace on November 5th.
Even if you're not in the Nashville area, and you can buy a ticket or buy a table,
Scott Jacobs print,
or buy a print, every bit of it will go to helping the youth.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate it. And if you're able to help these 2 little girls that we're sponsoring for Christmas, I'm like getting ahead of things early. I'm getting prepared. So let's get in the holiday spirit. And yeah, again, any help you'd be able to provide, we would so appreciate it, because we're just trying to make their smiles a little brighter this year, you know, make sure that they have a wonderful Christmas. So with that, we will sign off. We'll get out your hair, go sit in the hot tub, and we hope you have a wonderful week.
Bye.
Bye.